Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician, and today we're going to be installing a brand new product from 589 Fabrication, and that is going to be the fog lights. So with these third gens, if you don't have like the Z71 with the fog lights, you just have this kind of triangular shaped piece of plastic, and you can always get the parts to install the OEM ones, but I think this is a way cooler, way better design. I'm doing a prototype install, test fitting it for them to make sure everything's good to go. By the time this video is released to you guys, the final product will be done and finalized, so it should just be very, very easy to install. Even with this one, it should almost just be a direct replacement. So there's a little bit of work to it, but not much. They estimate roughly an hour to install everything, so it shouldn't be too bad. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer it for you guys. So this is a metal, basically housing or plate that's going to bolt to the bumper where that plastic is. It's going to have a cutout for different fog lights. You can either order just these brackets and get your own fog lights, or you can choose one from them. They offer many different ones, Baja Designs, Diode Dynamics. I stuck with Diode Dynamics because that's what my ditch lights are, and I want to keep everything the same. So as far as this install, it should be very easy, and I really hope you guys enjoy. I think this is a fantastic upgrade, and I think a lot of people are really going to be interested in this. So I will have the website linked down in the description for you guys, but I'll go over, I'll show you guys everything that's included, the tools that you may need to install this, and then we'll get to installing them. So once again, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and if you guys enjoy the video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Let's get into this. So here we're looking at everything included in the kit. So these are going to be the main brackets or front plates that are going to replace that plastic piece. You can see 589. And then what you have up here are some backing plates for behind here. So these are going to bolt here like so. So you have a black background, or you can leave it open, put a light back there or something. I have this reflective vinyl. I'm actually going to placing it back there, kind of give it a little touch. I think it looks nice. Obviously it'll look a little bit better than that, but yeah, that's what this is. And then this is going to be the bracket that bolts on the back side here like so, with the platform up, and then you'll take your fog light and you'll place it in there, and that's how it will be mounted. These are the Diode Dynamics SSC1 bulbs. These do have an amber backlight as well, and then so it's a two-way switch. You can have just the backlight on or the actual light. So I actually have a wiring harness on the way that will match the wiring harness and switch that my ditch lights are connected to. So basically what we're going to be doing is removing the plastic housing, which should be very easy to get to, and then you kind of clearance it. For this, you drill your outward holes, and if for some reason you want to go back to OEM, from my understanding, they have made it to where you should still be able to just go ahead and put that plastic piece back in. So you do also have your hardware over here as well. And then as far as tools, you'll need your drill with a drill bit, 3/8 socket for your hardware, T15 for removing the wheel liner. I believe it's a 3/32 Allen for the bolts for the hardware, and then just a ratchet for your socket or a wrench. Once again, these are 3/8. And then Diode Dynamics does include this pigtail harness with Deutsch connector, but I'm going to run their pre-wired wiring harness. It's just easier, and it matches what's in my vehicle already. Other than that, you may need something like a rotary tool. There is a small piece, from my understanding, that we have to trim off of there once you get the plastic plate off, and but I guess it's very minimal. So once we get it off, we will see what's going on back there, and we'll get that figured out. Other than that, that's all you need. Very basic hand tools, except for maybe the rotary tool, that you can actually get this Wen Dremel or Wen rotary tool for roughly $20-25 on Amazon. So very affordable. Here I have them fully assembled and they're ready to be installed. Installing the bracket was easy, just 2 bolts down here, then 1 bolt with a washer and lock washer for the actual fog light to the bracket, and then another 2 bolts for the backing plate. And I did the red reflective tape in there, and I think it turned out really nicely. I think it looks really good. Got it done on both of them. So they are ready to be installed. We got the wiring harness in from Diode Dynamics. This is the light duty 4-pin wiring harness. This is designed for their lights with a backlight. So that means it's a secondary light. So when you flip this switch to the 1 position, it will be the backlight. And then when you flip it to the 2, the full LED light will come on. So number 1 is basically just kind of like an accent light. And then 2 is the light fully on. And that's as simple as connecting it to your battery, running your wiring to the lights, and then running the switch wherever you want to mount it, which I'll be mounting mine next to my other 2 switches that I have for my ditch lights. So I messed up. So I'm taking photos for their instructions and website so people can, you know, see how to install these. And I forgot to record. I haven't really done much. What you're gonna wanna do is come around here on both sides and remove the T15 Torx that run along the wheel well liner here. And then underneath, you're going to have one more here, and then you'll have a clip here that you just undo. On that side, there's one T15 at the bottom, but on this side, they're both clips. One here and one here. And that's basically all I've done, so you didn't miss much. T15s and a few of these little clips. They come out real easily, so now we can go ahead and pull the wheel liner back, and we should have access to the back side of that plastic piece, as you can see there. Now that we have access to the back of here, you can see these little tabs around here. You just push on them, you can see. Let's work your way around the other side. There's one of them. Very simple. And here you can see kind of what we're gonna have to clearance. We'll probably have to come in here and clear out some of this. And then you will do the same thing on this side. Now that I have it off, I just kind of held, this one's for the other side, but I held it up there and kind of saw where I'm gonna need to cut, marked it. I'm actually gonna have to come over here further because this housing sits at an angle. Obviously it's not straight on, so the light actually sits in there kind of like this. So I've already done this side, getting ready to test fit it. Just gotta clean it up a little bit, but should sit in there something like that. It's gonna look really good. You just go ahead and finish clearancing a little bit, and then we'll get it installed. Here you can see I drilled a hole in the top, and that is because this plate right here at the top, the bolt and the nut hit the plastic there. So not a big deal, just kind of set this in there, see where it lines up at, and then drill the hole. I started with a small hole, and then when I realized that the nut was actually still hitting the plastic, I had to open it up a little bit further. It sits in there nice and flush. And that is another reason this bracket has an adjustment on it, because right now if you look at it, these lights, when they're straight in the housing, they actually point way off to the side, so you can adjust it in there on that bracket and get it pointed exactly where you need. I just held it up there, used my center punch, made a couple dimples, and then I marked them so they're easier to see in photos. So yeah, you have your 5 holes that you're gonna drill for the bolts to pass through, and then you'll have a washer and nut on the back side. Make sure that there's nothing back here that you may hit, and it's all clear. Go ahead, get this set up there. Now all we have to do is go to the back side and put the washers and nuts on. Not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but... and there will just be 5 of those, so go ahead and get those installed. So one side down, I would say without making a video, this will probably take you maybe 20 minutes, and then maybe 20-30 minutes for the other side, you know, maybe an hour to do this, not counting wiring install. So for me, it's taken a little bit longer, just recording and kind of figuring out exactly where you need to cut and make clearances. It's very easy work. Don't be afraid to do it. And there's still plenty of room to make adjustments to your light. You can still get a fastener on there and adjust your light. I got it straightened out, so it's actually pointing, you know, straight ahead instead of out into the ditch. Now we'll get started on the other side. Got it all cut out. So I start off with cutting out this section, and then it kind of opens it up to cut out over here. Then you have to take the housing, hold it up here, see where that fastener makes contact, and this is where I'm going to have to drill that hole in order to clearance for that bolt. Then we should be ready to mark our holes and install this one as well. We now have the hole drilled. We can take our housing, set it on there. It's right in that hole, and there she is. So now we can mark our holes, punch or a marker, however you want to do so, and then drill them out. And now it's all bolted in, so I'm just going to kind of adjust my light. Make sure it's roughly where the other one is. Obviously, you'll want to check it after you get it all wired up. That is it. As far as the install, we'll have to come out at night and check the lights against the garage door as far as alignment. But I think that looks sick. I'm extremely happy that they came out with these, and I can't wait to see what else they come out with for these trucks. This is way better than just dumb piece of plastic. If you have OEM lights and you want to switch, it'll be simple. And if you don't have OEM fog lights and you want some, this is a fantastic option. Before I put the fender liners and everything back, I'm going to run the wiring. And if you guys didn't watch my video, go ahead and watch the video on my Diode Dynamic ditch lights that I installed and how I wired them. This is for the outer lights, the inner lights, and then I think I'll put my fog lights over here just so they're not, I think there's a plastic wall that runs right here too, so I think I'm just going to do the fog lights over here so I know and I remember which ones are for the fog lights. So you may want to remove the switch. Just remember blue to the 2, red to the 0, yellow to the 1. Just take a picture if you can't remember. And then I basically just fed the wires through the grommet. So here are our wires for the switch, and I just run it underneath here, and the grommet is right. I can't fit under here. Right there. So, and once you get them all pulled through, you can just kind of push on the grommet. Seals it up. I haven't had any road noise or anything like that coming through the cab due to this. If you want, you can cut a hole in the grommet, but this is just easier and clean. Don't see any of the wiring. Don't leave it laying down here or anything like that. Keep it nice and clean. Run it over. I'll show you how to get it into the panel over there. Feed it through up under there. Just slide it through. What I've done with the wiring up here is I've just ran it over to the side. Here it is. It splits for the power and ground. This will get connected to the battery post. Then the 2 main wires that plug into the light are just up here for now. One will drop right here, or actually back here. Keep it nice and tidy. I'll find some way to run the cable nice and neatly, or wire nice and neatly over to the other side and get it to this light. But as far as this wiring, it just comes out right here. Keep it nice and tight, run it up behind your plastic, and then over here you can get into this access panel and you can see where you can drill your holes and all of that. So if you need to, probably go right here with it, but I am going to go ahead and get it ran up there and just have it kind of sitting here, and then we'll have to mark our hole to drill for our other switch, and then we'll plug the lights in and we'll be good to go. I have the wire ran down. It just simply drops down right there. All I did was drop it right here. Very, very simple, right in front of the fuse box. Then I took the excess, made sure to leave myself a little bit of slack on that light for adjustments and just so wires aren't being pulled. And then flush cuts, if you use a zip tie, Ooh, nice and smooth, safe. Then find somewhere to tuck this that's not gonna be next to any heat, any moving parts, somewhere that's just not laying up in the middle of the engine bay looking dumb. Keep it nice and clean, hide your wiring best as possible. This looks janky, it'll be fixed in just a sec. For the driver's side, I've ran it back here, behind, under, and then I went underneath this panel, through the front, and then I came out right here, so you can see that, and this will literally just drop. We can drop it right here. Sorry, I know you can't see anything. Dropping it right behind the blinker, basically. And then you just simply plug it in. You may have to hold the front side of your light while you push this in. They are nice and tight. After you've pulled your cable all the way through, you can tuck it behind the carpet so it's not just sitting out. Nice and neat. You don't see anything. Come around to the driver's side. You got this here. You can then tuck these up. They come up behind here and through here, and now we'll be able to simply plug right in to our switch. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take our center punch, we're going to make a divot and start our hole. Just check the back side, make sure you're not going to hit anything, drill into anything like that. So I'm going to go over here. I know I have the same height, and it's just making sure that I don't catch that plastic bracket in the back. So we'll go ahead and get it drilled out. I am going to start with a small bit, so just in case I need to move left or right, I can drill, inspect, and then slightly move left or right, and then we'll be using the step bit to fully open it up. And I believe these switches are 3/4 of an inch, and then there is a keyway on top, so I might go slightly smaller than 3/4 of an inch, open it up with my knife like I did last time, and then just slowly work that notch into it, and that keeps the switch from rotating, and it keeps the switch straight up nice and even. So how's it look? I think I'm just gonna leave it like that and just kind of leave the switch dangling. Just kidding. We have the hole drilled to 3/4 of an inch, which is nice because the step bit just goes up to 3/4 of an inch. And then we'll take our switch, and basically all we have to do now is mark straight up, put a mark there, and then I just kind of got to make a notch with my X-Acto knife, which is great for cleaning up the plastic around here after you drill. So we're going to make that notch, make sure it's straight up, run the wires through the back, plug in our switch, and it'll be good to go. So you can see the keyway, and then I ran the wire through, connected it, blue to the 2, yellow to the 1, and then it is a nice snug fit. You can see it fits into the keyway. Got the tabs on the sides that are going to lock it into place. So I'm going to go ahead and get it pushed in. It's hard to do with one hand. Get this panel put back on over here, make sure the wiring's nice and clean, and then we'll connect it to the battery. So there it is, fog lights, outer ditch lights, inner ditch lights. It turned out all right. I would have liked to place it over there, but I wasn't chancing it, and I'm okay with it over there, indicating that, you know, this is not the same as my hood lights. And then if I install other lights, everything is nice and hidden. The only thing we'll have to do is place a zip tie on the wiring here, and then get the covers put back on. So I'm going to go ahead and get this connected, and then we'll test them out. All right, so negatives connected, positives connected, all the safety covers are put back on. I'll get that cleaned up. Just kind of left it out so you guys can see. This one right here is the fused positive. That one that loops over is the negative. So it's really time to check and see if this thing turns on. We'll check the back lights, and then we will check the full light. That's going to be the amber backlight. We'll go ahead and turn on the actual fog light portion. Definitely looks, it's hard to tell in the video, but this looks amazing. These little guys are bright too. I was not expecting that much light out of them. But Diode Dynamics does make some fantastic products. But once again, 589 Fabrication makes this, and they offer many different brands of fog lights. You can also purchase your own, but now all I have to do is kind of aim them. so let's go ahead and turn these things on. Very nice. So we'll do the backlight just so you guys can see them. That's how you could drive around if you don't want the actual fog lights on. That's really bright. And then turning them on, I actually think I have them aimed pretty good. I tried to do it off the garage door earlier today. I think it looks really good. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. In the next video, we'll actually be going over my exterior lights, and I'll show you guys both pairs of ditch lights and the fog lights at nighttime so you guys can get a better idea of the Diode Dynamics lights that I have. And I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts or any questions that you may have. I will do my best to answer them. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.